Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about something powerful, something that has been holding you back, something that has been keeping you from your blessings, your breakthroughs, and your true destiny. There are things in your life that do not belong, things that attract negativity, things that invite darkness, things that open the door to struggle, confusion, and despair. You see, demons don't always come dressed in red with horns and a pitchfork. No. Sometimes they come disguised as habits, as toxic relationships, as self-doubt, as addictions, as distractions. And they take root in your home, in your heart, and in your mind. There are things in your life that you are holding on to, things that may seem small, harmless, even familiar, but they are the very things keeping you from the life you were meant to live. They are the chains wrapped around your spirit, the weights slowing you down, the distractions keeping you from your destiny. And the truth is, you know what they are. Deep down, you already feel it. Some of these things are habits. Habits that drain you, that take your time, your energy, your focus. Maybe it's staying up too late, scrolling through things that do nothing for your soul. Maybe it's wasting time in conversations that lead nowhere. Maybe it's filling your mind with things that stir up worry, lust, anger, or fear. These habits don't seem like much at first, just small choices, little moments, but add them up and they shape your entire life. Some of these things are people, the voices that constantly pull you back into old patterns, that remind you of who you used to be instead of who you are becoming. There are relationships in your life that are not lifting you up but dragging you down. People who mock your faith, who discourage your dreams, who feed your insecurities instead of strengthening your purpose. And I tell you today, you do not have to stay connected to everything and everyone just because they have been in your life for a long time. Some of these things are objects. You might have things in your home, in your possession, that tie you to your past. Items that remind you of pain, of failures, of things that no longer align with the life you want to live. Some things carry a spirit, a weight, a memory that does not serve you. You do not have to keep what holds you back. You do not have to hold on to what no longer belongs in your future. And some of these things, my friend, are thoughts, the voices in your mind that whisper you'll never change, you're not good enough, you've already failed too many times. Thoughts that convince you that your past defines you, that your struggles are who you are. But that is a lie. You were created for more. You were meant to live in freedom, not in bondage to thoughts that are not from God. So today I ask you, what are you holding on to that is holding you back? What are the things, the people, the habits, the thoughts that you know you need to let go of? Because until you remove them, you will never step fully into the life you were meant to live. You will never know the fullness of joy, of peace, of clarity, of purpose. The time has come. It is time to identify these things, to stop making excuses, to stop delaying the breakthrough that is waiting for you. It is time to let go of what is weighing you down and step into the freedom that is yours. What you allow into your life will shape the person you become. The things you listen to, the people you surround yourself with, the thoughts you entertain, all of it is shaping your heart, your mind, and your future. You cannot fill your life with darkness and expect to walk in the light. You cannot fill your mind with negativity and expect to live with peace. You cannot feed your soul with fear and expect to live with faith. Many people wonder why they feel lost, anxious, or distant from their purpose, but they never stop to ask, what am I allowing into my life? What voices am I listening to? What am I filling my mind with every single day? Because whatever you allow in will take root, and whatever takes root will grow. If you plant seeds of fear, you will harvest anxiety. If you plant seeds of doubt, you will harvest insecurity. If you plant seeds of bitterness, you will harvest broken relationships. But if you plant seeds of faith, you will harvest strength. If you plant seeds of discipline, you will harvest success. If you plant seeds of peace, you will harvest joy. The choice is yours. Some people say it's just a song, it's just a movie, it's just entertainment, but the enemy is subtle. He knows that what enters your mind will eventually shape your actions. He knows that a simple compromise today can lead to complete destruction tomorrow. One step off the right path may not seem like much now, but if you keep walking in the wrong direction, you will find yourself lost, far from where you were meant to be. And it's not just what you watch or listen to, it's the company you keep. The people around you have a powerful influence on your life, whether you realize it or not. If you walk with the wise, you will become wise. If you walk with the foolish, you will suffer harm. Some of you are struggling not because you lack potential, not because God hasn't blessed you, but because you are surrounded by the wrong people. They speak doubt when you need faith. They pull you back when you need to move forward. They keep you in cycles that God has been trying to break you out of. And then there are the thoughts you allow to live in your mind. Some of you have been carrying lies for years. Lies that say you are not worthy, that you are not loved, that you are not strong enough. But those lies only have power because you have allowed them to stay. You must replace them with truth. You must fill your mind with the promises of God, with words that bring life and not destruction. What you allow in will determine what comes out. A heart filled with anger will speak words of hatred. A mind filled with worry will act in fear, but a heart filled with faith will speak life. A mind filled with truth will walk in confidence. Choose wisely. Your future depends on it. There are things in your life that do not belong. Things that have attached themselves to you, weighing you down, pulling you away from your purpose. You may not even realize it, but these things are blocking your blessings, stealing your peace, and keeping you from the life you were meant to live. It is time to remove them. Some of these things are habits. Patterns of behavior that have become so normal to you that you no longer see the danger in them. The way you spend your time, the way you speak, the way you think, it all matters. Some habits may seem small, harmless, even enjoyable, but if they are leading you away from God's plan for your life, they must go. You cannot expect to grow while holding on to things that are slowly destroying you. Some of these things are influences, the entertainment you consume, the voices you listen to, the things you allow to take up space in your mind. What are you watching? What are you reading? What kind of music is filling your heart? Many people do not realize that the enemy does not always come in obvious ways. He sneaks in through what seems like just a song or just a movie. But what you constantly expose yourself to will shape your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately your action. If something is filling your heart with darkness, confusion, or temptation, it is time to remove it. Some of these things are relationships. There are people in your life who are not helping you grow, people who drain your energy, who discourage your faith, who keep you locked in the same destructive cycles. Some of you have friendships that were once good but are no longer leading you in the right direction. Some of you are holding on to relationships that are full of compromise, full of struggle, full of pain. If someone is pulling you away from your faith, away from your purpose, away from the peace God has for you, then you need to let them go. And some of these things are objects, things in your home, things in your possession that carry the weight of your past. Some of you have held on to items that remind you of pain, of sin, of moments you need to leave behind. Maybe it's a gift from a toxic relationship. Maybe it's something that constantly brings up regret, temptation, or sorrow. These things are not just things. They carry meaning. And sometimes they carry spiritual weight. If something in your life is tied to a season God has called you out of, then it's time to remove it. You cannot receive new blessings while holding on to old burdens. You cannot walk in freedom while clinging to the very things that enslave you. If you want change, if you want peace, if you want to move forward, then you must take action. Remove the things that are holding you back. Make room for the life you were created to live. When you remove what does not belong, you make room for something greater. When you clear out the things that weigh you down, you open the door for blessings, for peace, for a renewed sense of purpose. But too many people live with clutter in their hearts and their minds and in their lives, holding on to things that no longer serve them, afraid to let go, afraid to move forward. You are not just getting rid of something, you are creating space for something better. You are making room for clarity, for wisdom, for direction. Many people wonder why they feel lost, why they feel distant from God, why they feel stuck in the same cycles year after year. But the answer is simple. They have not cleared the way for something new. Imagine a house filled with clutter, with no space to move, no room to breathe. The more you hold on to, the more chaotic it becomes. But when you start removing things, one by one, the space begins to open up. Light begins to shine through. You can see more clearly and live more freely. That is what happens when you remove the things that block your path. If you want peace, make room for it. That means removing the distractions that keep your mind restless. That means letting go of the worry, the overthinking, the constant comparison. If you want success, make room for it. That means clearing out laziness, procrastination, and excuses. If you want faith to grow, make room for it. That means shutting out the voices of doubt and fear and filling your heart with truth. God is always ready to pour out blessings, but the question is, do you have room for them? Or is your life so cluttered with things that do not belong that there is no space left? The time has come to clean out what is unnecessary, to remove what is harmful, and to prepare yourself for the good things ahead. You do not have to stay stuck in old patterns. You do not have to remain tied to the things that drain you. Make the choice today. Remove what is holding you back and watch as your life begins to transform. The more room you make for what is good, the more you will receive. The enemy does not need to destroy you. He only needs to distract you. He only needs to keep you tangled in the wrong things, connected to the wrong people, focused on the wrong battles. He does not always come with loud threats or obvious attacks. No, he comes quietly, slowly, creeping in through the little compromises, the small distractions, the seemingly harmless influences, and before you realize it, you are caught in his trap, stuck, struggling, and wondering why you cannot move forward. Some of you have been fighting the same battles for years. You have been going in circles, falling into the same temptations, wrestling with the same doubts, weighed down by the same burdens. And the reason is simple. You have not broken free from the things that are keeping you trapped. The enemy wants you comfortable in your dysfunction. He wants you so used to the struggle that you stop believing freedom is possible. But I am here to tell you, you were not meant to live in chains. Look at your life right now. What are the things that keep pulling you back? What are the thoughts, the habits, the relationships, the influences that keep you stuck in the same patterns? Maybe it's an addiction that whispers just one more time. Maybe it's a toxic friendship that makes you doubt yourself. Maybe it's the constant flood of negative voices telling you you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy of something greater. These things are not from God. These things are traps designed to keep you from walking in the freedom you were created for. But there is good news. You do not have to stay where you are. The enemy may try to keep you in chains, but he does not have the final say. You have the power to break free. You have the power to say enough is enough. You have the power to step out of the cycle and into something greater. But first, you must recognize the trap. You must see it for what it is, and you must be willing to remove yourself from it. It will not always be easy. The things that keep you trapped will fight to stay. Bad habits do not disappear overnight. The enemy will whisper, you can't change. This is just who you are. But that is a lie. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not bound to the things that once held you captive. You were created for more. It's time to break free. It's time to remove the things that keep pulling you backward. It's time to step into the light, into strength, into victory. Do not let the enemy win. Do not let the past define you. Choose today to walk in freedom, to leave behind the traps, to live the life you were meant to live. You were made for more. Now step into it. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not someday when you feel ready. Now, there is a window of opportunity before you, a moment where you can make a decision that will change your life. The problem is that too many people hesitate. Too many people wait, making excuses, convincing themselves that they have more time. But delay is dangerous. Delay is a tool the enemy uses to keep you from ever stepping into what God has for you. How many times have you felt the conviction to change, to remove something from your life, to break free from what is holding you back, but you talked yourself out of it? You told yourself, I'll deal with this later, or it's not that big of a problem, or I can quit whenever I want. But deep down, you know that is not true. Deep down, you know that the longer you wait, the stronger the chains become. The longer you wait, the harder it is to break free. Some of you have been circling the same mountain for years, stuck in the same struggles, the same cycles, the same battles. And you keep saying, one day I'll change. But let me tell you something. One day is not promised. The enemy wants you to believe you have time to waste. He wants you to believe that you can keep living in compromise and that it won't cost you. But it always costs something. Every day you stay in a place you were never meant to be, you lose time, you lose peace, you lose the future you were created for. There is an urgency to this moment. If you feel the pull to change, do not ignore it. If you feel the conviction to remove something from your life, do not push it aside. That is not just your own thoughts. That is God speaking to you, calling you to step into something better. And you must listen. You may feel afraid. Change is hard. Letting go is hard, but staying stuck is even harder. Some of you are so used to the weight of your burdens that you have forgotten what it feels like to be free. But once you let go, once you truly surrender and remove what does not belong, you will feel a lightness, a peace, a freedom like never before. Do not wait for another sign. Do not wait for the perfect conditions. Do not wait for someone else to tell you it's time. This is your moment. This is your chance. The time is now.